Hey guys, this video is going to be about why you are probably not as happy as you could be, or just not even happy at all, and what you can do to begin to fix that. Okay guys, so basically for a lot of high school and even some of middle school, I wasn't happy. I'm normally a pretty easygoing guy. I'm normally the guy who would have good energy, good vibes, be chilling with friends, but deep down, I was hurting, Everybody knows that type of person. A lot of you are that type of person. When you're with your friends, when you're hanging out with all your homies, you're in good spirits, you're having fun, but in reality, you're looking for something more. And a lot of the time, that something more can be really difficult to even grasp or even know where to start looking. That something more, it's more what? You don't even know where to start or how to start. So today I'll be just breaking down why I think I wasn't happy for so long and how I started to nourish myself and pave the way to enjoying life again to its fullest. So it all started in middle school, I would say. I was a good student for the most part. Just in general, I was a good student. I got good grades, especially in elementary school. I really applied myself. I loved learning a lot. I went to a private school, and the learning there originally was a different style. It was more of what you made of it as an individual learner. You could go with what was interesting to you. It was more about creativity rather than knowing specific facts that aren't really important in the long term of things. But anyways, in middle school I really got out of touch with my desire to learn and grow as a person, because every day I would have to go to school for the majority of the day, and it just wasn't about things that I was interested in. Well, that's not exactly true. Anyways, I did enjoy the topics. That's not true, because I'm generally interested in a lot of things. I major in marine biology at school, so I like science in general, but history really interests me. Even English. I know I probably sound like a nerd, but just the way school is set up in public schools, it's not really to strike. It doesn't foster creativity and critical thinking in the ways that I enjoy to learn. It's not really about the deep, philosophical thought process as much as just grilling you with facts and random information. And to me, if I don't like doing something or I don't think it's valuable, then it's very hard for me to do it or work hard at it. So, as time went by, as middle school progressed, it became progressively less interesting to me. I put in less and less time into my studies, and overall my grades and academic performance went down. And I'm a fairly competitive person, a very competitive person, and I think very highly of myself, and I want myself to do very well on these kinds of things. And so when I was underperforming and just not achieving the results that my peers were achieving, and just not being able to reach my full potential in my eyes. It was very disheartening to me. And looking back, it wasn't like, I don't really care if like a public school says I'm a poor student, but deep down it does like affect me if I'm just not one of the best, you know? Like I strive to be the best I can be, and when I'm underperforming or not doing what I need to do, it really just makes me dislike myself and just think I'm worthless. Because if you're not working hard and you're not achieving as much as you can, then like, what are you doing, you know? So that kind of stuck with me, and that kind of gave me a bitter relationship with school, and honestly made my whole relationship with learning and just the process of discovery and knowledge finding, and just the overall process of learning and growth became toxic to me. It was distasteful. I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't like that I was bad at it, so it just made me push it farther and farther away from what I like to do. I just basically played a lot of video games and just hid from the world. I was pretty depressed through high school just for like the same reasons. I just wasn't, everyone was like so excited for college and wanted to do well so they can get into these good schools, and just still I just couldn't get myself to do the work or apply myself because it just wasn't like interesting, or it just didn't float my boat like it did for other people. Like just doing boring things and getting good results wasn't enough for me to stay involved. And just being, I mean, I didn't do poorly. I got like a 92 because like my mom was always grilling me to do well in school. I got like a 92 GPA at the end of it, but still I wasn't like doing my homework. I wasn't studying. And through this time, my overall desire to learn and go out and new things just hit rock bottom. Like I just hated just life and everything because I didn't like how I was judged based on this irrelevant thing, in my opinion. My grades like reflected me poorly because just because of what they were, and like I felt like I was just a number, and it didn't matter who I was or like my personality or anything about me. It was just how I could perform in this concrete thing with random curriculum. And so yeah, it started off like that, and eventually I was applying for schools, and I knew I loved marine biology ever since the first time I scuba dived, which was in St. Lucia, like sophomore year. And I still loved nature and just loved being outdoors because it relaxed me. So I knew what I was gonna do, and I was fairly I knew there was no way I could ever do business or engineering or anything like that, because like I said, if it's something I don't want to do, I just can't do it. Like I'd have zero drive. It's either I have all the drive and I want everything, or I want no part of it, because that's just how I operate. Like there's no way I would be stuck in something I didn't want to do. But so eventually I applied for school, got into Florida Tech, and I was excited at first. I guess I was excited. I don't know. I don't really get excited until like something happens. Like it has to be happening for it to actually excite me, just because I don't know, that's how I work. Like I just won't acknowledge something's a thing until like actually happens. So I was like just kind of like, whatever, it's college, I guess it's gonna happen no matter what, and just It was that summer, and I think I might have been in France that summer. I'm not sure, or I was probably doing some kind of physical labor or something for my uncle. But anyways, I was just waiting for it to come along. I didn't really think much about it, and like it was like maybe like a week or like a couple days away, and it just finally hit me. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to go to school. Like I'm gonna be by myself. I'm gonna have to take care of myself. Like I didn't really think about it that much. I kind of just send it. But I don't know. So I just got to school, and like everything else previously, my study habits were obviously bad because of years of just not applying myself to school. There's a reason why they get you to study and do homework early on that you don't want to do, is so that you can do it through college and just be able to work, because that's basically what work in school is. It's just doing things you don't want to do so that later in life it's easy to do them. So I kind of just went through school. I got a good work-study job in a shark lab, so that was pretty cool. That struck my interest, and I enjoyed doing that. I applied myself in the lab for sure. But eventually, I knew when I went to high school, and I was always doing sports, and I never really had time to weightlift or do anything like that. But I knew I was very interested in weightlifting, even when I couldn't do it, just because it was always something I wanted to do. Like I always looked up to like superheroes like Batman and people like Hercules and that kind of thing, and I wanted to be jacked. Honestly, I just wanted to be jacked. But eventually it turned into something much more than that for me. But that's originally how I thought about working out, and so I never really could work out just because I was doing sports year round, and the gym was like half an hour away, and I didn't have a license. It wasn't realistic for me to do it. But school came around, and right after the first day of orientation, right after the first day of orientation, I went to the gym and I worked out for like 3 hours straight. It was so nice. And obviously I can eat unlimited amounts of food because of the dining hall and everything. So it was a great setup for me as a lifter, something I didn't have before. But so ever since that day, there was no looking back. I went so hard in the gym every day, 2.5, 3 hours. I left it all out there because it was finally something I could pour my energy into that had been in reserve for so long, just because of my just hate and like I just distanced myself from school, and I just distanced myself from everything, sports, my friends. It was unhealthy. So eventually I started weightlifting like a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And I saw my progress, and I worked harder and harder each time, and it just finally, it brought my confidence back up about who I was, because it showed me, well, not to sound arrogant, but every day I would go in and work super hard, and I would see other people there, and I was honestly progressing like a lot faster than them, because when I was in there, my time was like super valuable to me. I would go literally super hard for like 2 hours. I would do like 10 sets of an exercise at like a super high intensity. But it really just made me rethink about what I was doing, and like how it began to upset me again that I wasn't doing well in college in some of my classes because my study habits were so bad, and I wasn't interested in the material, and I just didn't want to do it again. It was like another cycle of depression, just because like I couldn't apply myself to something I didn't want to do. So I was like, well, and I would just sit at home and like play video games, or I would just go party out on the weekend. And I didn't really get anything done besides the gym. But through going to the gym and just working so hard day in, day out, I realized I wasn't working hard in other aspects of my life. And so like when I was young, I used to read a lot, and I didn't read anymore. I didn't do puzzles. I didn't do, like, I don't know, anything that uses your brain in your off time. I wouldn't do it. Like, I had no desire to do anything like that. And so I began retracing my steps and seeing where I went off track and what, like, first made me unhappy with what was going on. And so that originally led me, well, it was honestly school and just all the pressure I was put into to excel and do well bars, but I just wouldn't because the interest wasn't there. So I thought to myself, well, it doesn't need to be school. Like, I don't need to learn school material necessarily to be learning. I can learn whatever I want. So it really started during quarantine because I had a lot of time, a lot of time to myself. So I'm actually grateful for quarantine, and I just had a lot of time to think about what I was doing and what I wanted for myself in the future, and just the path I was going down wasn't what I wanted for myself. So I started meditating each day. I started writing down what I thought, and I started reading and just trying to foster my desire for learning and creativity again. And I would go outside, I would go to the beach all the time. I would never stay inside and do nothing all day like I normally would. And so yeah, I'm actually at my little brother's soccer practice right now. I drove him and his buddy to practice, and I'm probably gonna have to go soon, so I'll record this somewhere else at some other time. But honestly, this video is like helping me realize a lot of things about me. You know, like, one of the best ways to learn is to teach, just because by like getting it all out there, you can see your own perception of things, and it's almost like leaving your own view of something on the table and getting an outside perspective of it, because you're telling it to other people, so you just can hear, you know, what you sound like, basically. But anyways, it's like a lot different than just being in your head all the time. So anyways, I got home to New York from school in Florida, and every day I started doing things like biking, going outside. I bought this camera, I started taking pictures, I was reading, and I started to organize myself better. Each day I wrote down lists of things I wanted to do, things I wanted to accomplish, something I never really thought of before, because I just didn't think about like accomplishing anything in a day. It was like necessary. I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, because, you know, who cares, you know, who cares? But just getting out there and just like just being in nature and just like reading and just like taking pictures, and and then it just brought me back to the present, and it basically like awakened me. It made me realize all that I'd been missing out on for so long, and just I remember vividly like laying in my bed one night, And I was just thinking, I was like, is that really all I've done today? Is that all I've completed for a day in my life? Like, this was one day in my life. And, like, was this a noteworthy... Like, was my existence today noteworthy? Was it something that I'm proud of if I looked back, like, 90 years from now on my deathbed? And I was like, you know what? It really wasn't. And so that night, I went on a walk, and I just thought about what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it was so freeing, just being like so spontaneous and going out and doing, like, just going on a walk. Like, I can't even tell you, like, how much, like, these little things were helping me just build confidence in myself again and just realize what was important to me. And I started doing things like spending more time with my grandparents and just, like, reaching out to friends I hadn't talked to in a while and linking up with them and just really cherishing the relationships with people that I have, that I love and that, like, are a part of my inner circle and just my core group of people that I resonate with, you know, that share similar beliefs. It's not even just like beliefs about things, it's just and so from there, from just like fostering these old relationships and just getting interested in learning and getting in touch with my creative, just artistic and expressive side of my spirit for a change, I woke up every day grateful to have another breath in my healthy lungs and just be able to go out and do what I want. Like, I have food security, I have a home to live in, I have loving parents, like siblings, friends, family. It became clear to me I had no reason to be sad or be unappreciative for what I have. And so one of my first steps to becoming, I eventually realized one of the first things I needed to do to just work hard and start living and enjoying life again is just being grateful for the things that I have every day that are given to me, that just I never thought twice of. It's just I'm grateful to have a car. I'm grateful to have shoes to wear every day. I like being able to turn on lights and have air conditioning and just I know I probably sound cliche and stupid, but it's true. Like, these little things we take for granted, but they're so important, and other people don't have them, and they're so much happier in, like, third world countries and everything. You'd be surprised how happy the people are there just to, like, play soccer, just work all day. But so I began to think, I was grateful for what I have, and that meant I realized, it just dawned on me that I'd been slacking off for, like, the past 5 years of my life. Just I haven't been making my days worth a day. They just weren't worth what I was doing. And so every day I started writing a list and carefully planning out my day and in time intervals and keeping myself busy and just getting things done and learning and just going out and doing things and seeing things and just being grateful for the opportunity I had to just be able to learn and be able to work hard and be able to achieve things. I was given the opportunity by my parents and by this country and just by my overall social standing to be able to chase whatever goals I have, because I can. I have a computer, I have like some money, I guess. I mean, I really don't have money, but that's besides the point. I have a will and I have a way. I'm not malnourished, I'm not ill, I'm not, like, my family isn't impoverished. I can do and I can be successful. And I started to want so much, like, just not like things, not material things, but wanting more for myself. I wanted, like, that is the more. I want to achieve greatness. Like spiritually, I meditate every day. Just being more knowledgeable, I wanted to achieve more in the ways of being more understanding of what certain people are going through and hardships people went through, like the minorities in our country and how they were treated. And I just was finally aware of just how much I had and how much others don't, and what people had to work for just that I was given when I was born. Reading books about like Martin Luther King and just what the civil rights movement went through just to get simple rights that us white people just have had, just stuff like that has just shown me so much. But just this overall sense of like I need to work. I need to develop myself. I need to show worth. I need to take what was given to me and show that I deserve it and actually put it to use. I need to show that I am a valuable member of my family, and that I work hard day in, day out to become a better version of myself than I already am. And that, like, this is now the reality. Like, this is what I want every day. I wake up thinking I need to do so much. I want to do well in school. I want to get straight A's. I want to make a successful YouTube channel. I want to start trading on the stock market. Like, I want to do so much now. And it all just started from being grateful for what I have and just being optimistic about my future and what I can achieve. Because before, I just thought everything was out of reach. It's just unrealistic. Like, I was afraid of failing before I even started. And I was afraid I would be bad at it before I even started. And so my message to you is, if there's something you're thinking about starting, or something that's been on your mind that you haven't done, maybe it's been a couple years, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple days, just go out and do it. Because it's just, you don't, like everyone says, another cliche thing, like, you don't want to look back and regret what you haven't done. Maybe regret what you have done, or if you haven't. But it started. My number one thing is gratitude. My second thing is always look to progress and learn and become better than you were each day. Because if lifting has shown me anything, it's that little improvements and hard work each day, it amounts to a lot. And I can't say it enough. If you work hard, if you do something every day, if you try and never give up, and when you fail, you take a little time and then you get back on it, you will succeed. And it's just having this faith now in something more, and just being something more, and just being grateful for what I have. It just, I wake up every day with fresh air in my lungs and a skip in my step. I walk down the stairs happy to see my little dogs running around, happy to hear my mom yelling at my siblings. I'm just happy to have all of it, because this is my life and I love it. Like, I can just go and do whatever I can do, you know? Like, I can just go out and it's just, you got to be in touch with nature. You have to be in touch with yourself spiritually. You have to foster your creativity. You need to at the end of the day, you need to be selfish. You need to work on yourself before you can help anyone do anything else. Alright guys, I'm back at home. It's like a week later something. I got a haircut. I think it looks pretty good. But besides that, I'm just gonna sum up my main points of how I'm starting to make myself happier each day. And it is a journey like anything. It's not gonna be immediate. But if you take the steps and you work for it, it's possible, you know, it's gonna happen. Just like anything, if you do it every day, if you try, take little steps and just keep working on it, it'll happen. But to sum it up, my top things would be: number 1, gratitude. Number 2, each day you should work to progress, develop, and just foster your desire to learn new things. And you should be trying to learn new things and grow in what you already can do, and just be getting better at. It doesn't need to be something someone else wants you to be good at. It can just be some hobby or something that you love doing and you just want to improve at it. Like, that's fine. It's just, you should be trying to grow every day. Like, that's a big part of it. And you should definitely try to be in touch with nature and just like yourself, and really try to understand why you feel the way you feel. Because I know it might seem easy, like you are you, so you should get it, but a lot of the time you really don't, and it takes a lot of just sitting down in a quiet room, maybe with music if that helps you concentrate, and just like chilling and thinking, and just not having so many outside distractions, so you can really just focus on just really touching deep inside, like figuring out what you want for yourself. And number 4, you gotta have a good support system. You gotta choose the right people to be around, the ones that show a version of themselves that you want yourself to be. Like, it's people you look up to that work really hard or do something well that you like doing, but you don't want to be around people that are toxic or take away from your life and they drain your energy because of their bullshit. You just that can't be a priority, and it's just not possible. Like, I've tried balancing just like people and friends in my life that just at the end of the day, if they don't make the cut, they don't make it, and it's got to be you over them, because this is it. It's your life. You got to be in charge of it. And so number 5 would be, you have to work for it. This isn't something that's easy. It doesn't come in a couple weeks or even a month. It builds and builds, and it takes constant attention and reflection and time and effort to be able to just grow towards something that you're comfortable being, or just like you don't want to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like a lot of the time, this kind of thing, you'll shoot yourself in the foot right after you do something you're proud of, because that's just like our classic cycles that we are prone to do. Like, no, you need to be on yourself. You need to be dedicated to growing and just becoming the person you want to be. And each day you need to have a plan and execute and just really get done what you want to do. And number 6 is, if you have anything, like maybe you have a bad relationship with food, or you have a substance abuse problem, or anything of that nature that is like a reoccurring daily thing, kind of like an addiction, you need to settle that first and foremost, because that can be one of the most devastating things in terms of just finding yourself and being able to get to a good place mentally. That will always get in the way, and it will always be in the back of your mind. Even if it's not in the present moment, it will always be back there, really, just unfocusing you from the bigger picture. And number 7, this one's actually very important. This is my last one, I guess, like the 7 keys to being happy. But number 7 is, don't move forward before you're ready. I used to go through school, college life, just pushing past the pain, and just that it didn't matter that I didn't want to be there or didn't know what I was doing, because there's so much stuff happening. Like if you stop for a day or two, like you're already behind, like way behind. But quarantine was great for me because it gave me time to slow down, and actually gave me a lot of time to reflect that I normally wouldn't have. So if you really are dedicated to changing your life for the better, you should give yourself some time. But don't just make it that time that you would normally use, where you just do nothing or like waste it. Make it some valuable time spent making yourself just feel better, and like, you know what I mean. It takes, basically, you got to work on yourself before you can do anything else, like, period. No work, no fun, no anything. You have to tend to yourself, because your body's your vessel, and like, this is first and foremost. Anyways, yeah, this was a pretty long video. I doubt anyone's really gonna watch this whole thing, or even some of it, or even to hear, but I really made this video for myself because it's part of my healing process and part of enjoying my life again, because this is cool to me. I've never done something like this, and it's just spontaneous. I just went out there, filmed it, and edited it, and uploaded it to YouTube. Like, I don't really care what anyone thinks of it, or if it gets any views. Like, that's not why I did it. I just did it because it's nice just leaving it all out on the table, and just really just being transparent and having integrity in what you're trying to do in life. But anyways, I don't even know. It's just, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see some more stuff like this, like, let me know in the comments. I'll probably be making some motivational videos in the future, more for myself again than you guys, but hopefully you enjoy this kind of stuff. And yeah, I'll see you.